Am I the a-hole for bringing my daughter to a child-free wedding? Hi everyone. I'm a 19-year-old mom to my beautiful 2-year-old daughter, AmItheA. Just a bit of backstory. Last year, I was asked to be a bridesmaid in a family friend's wedding. I was thrilled and immediately said yes, even though it was a child-free event. I had arranged for a babysitter, but about a week before the wedding, she informed me that she would no longer be in the city and couldn't watch my daughter. Given the short notice, I approached the bride and asked if I could bring AmItheA to the wedding, as I didn't have time to find another trusted babysitter. My daughter is overall a very easygoing baby. She's comfortable with people and happy as long as she's fed. The bride knew this since she'd watched my daughter on multiple occasions before, and she happily agreed, saying that having AmItheA there would make the wedding photos even more special. The wedding was going smoothly, though I noticed a few stares from the groom's parents. AmItheA stayed with my sisters for most of the day, but during the reception, I took her with me to congratulate the couple. As I approached with AmItheA in my arms, the groom's mother suddenly commented, "You shouldn't have brought a baby to a child-free wedding, especially when she doesn't fit the family." I was completely taken aback. For context, my daughter is mixed. I'm half white and half Hispanic, and her father is black. I've been called whitewashed because I'm not in contact with my Hispanic family, so I knew exactly what she meant by saying my daughter didn't fit the family. The bride looked shocked, and the groom immediately stood up and led his parents away. Taking this as my cue, I decided it was time to leave. I made the rounds to say goodbye to everyone and put AmItheA in her stroller. As I was leaving, the bride came over to apologize for her in-laws' behavior. I was upset, but I knew it wasn't her fault, so I simply wished her luck and left. Now, about a week after the wedding, I got tagged in a Facebook post, strange, because I don't use Facebook. The post read, "I'm outraged that my grandchildren weren't allowed at this event, but when a teen mother who couldn't be responsible enough to leave her child with the father brings her baby, it's perfectly fine." The post was from the groom's mother. To make things worse, she's also been telling family members that I'm lying about what she said regarding my daughter's appearance. So now I'm wondering, am I the b-hole? Update. Hi again, everyone. I first want to start off with a huge thank you for all the advice and reassurance. That said, before I go into this post, I've seen a few racist comments towards my daughter and remarks about my age and how I ruined my life. I am extremely happy and so is my daughter. She is beautiful and it is terrible that people in this world will take their self-hate out on a 2-year-old. Anyways, I wanted to give an update and clarify a few things after read on the feedback I received. First off, I do have a Facebook account, but I don't use it often. I only found out about the post because someone sent it to me on messages, which is how I saw the groom's mother's comments. Regarding AmItheA's father, he couldn't take her that weekend because he lives a bit farther away and struggles when plans change last minute, especially when it's not his scheduled days to have her. On top of that, my family members who I would trust to watch AmItheA were all attending the wedding, so there weren't many other options. Now, some of you mentioned I could have dropped out of the wedding, and I want to address that. Dropping out of the bridal party was actually the first option I presented to the bride when I realized I couldn't find a new babysitter. I didn't want to complicate her big day. However, she didn't want me to drop out and reassured me that it would be fine to bring AmItheA. So while bringing my daughter was the second option, the bride did have the choice of me stepping down if she had preferred that. Yesterday, I spoke with the bride again, and she told me that she explained everything to her mill, making it clear that it wasn't my fault AmItheA was there, it was a decision made between her and her husband. She also revealed the real reason behind the child-free rule. It wasn't directed at all kids. The bride had been trying to avoid having her mother-in-law's grandchildren there because they had been nightmares at other events, as described by the bride herself. The bride didn't want to cause any more drama by openly sharing that reason, so she kept it under the radar. I feel a lot better knowing that my friend still supports my decision, and I'm relieved that the real issue wasn't about me or AmItheA. While I'll definitely be more cautious with similar situations in the future, I'm glad I prioritized AmItheA's safety and well-being. Thanks again to everyone who shared their thoughts, I truly appreciate it. Am I the a-hole for starting my wedding ceremony before my mom showed up? The day of the wedding started out as they normally do. I, bride, was inside getting ready and final touches were being made outside. After I was almost ready by noon, my mom had to run back to the hotel 20 minutes away to change and come back with my grandma and family friend. The invitation says ceremony at 2, as per usual we were a little late starting but nothing crazy. Next thing I know I'm walking myself down the aisle with no mom, grandma, or family friend in sight. The ceremony continues and it's over before we know it. Still nothing. After 45 minutes finally they pull up. Then I proceed to go and tell them it's over and that they missed it and that 2 meant 2. My mother immediately became hostile and proceeded to blame the bakery for not having buns ready, then said they were stopped by a train and my personal favorite was "It's your fault you didn't call or text to see where we are." Excuse me. Again the invitation said 2. Also note the officiant also had another wedding to get to after mine, so it was a tight schedule. So am I the b-hole for not holding up my ceremony? Side note, I found out the real reason why they were late. She wasn't done getting herself ready, therefore holding up everyone. But she is mad at me because it's my fault. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my sister that my wedding is not her wedding? I, 29F, am planning my wedding for September of this year. It's the end of summer and also the month I met my fiancé. My sister, Kat, 33F, was supposed to get married 5 years ago, but her partner died in a motorcycle accident. She was devastated and had a hard time. Since then, she's been very gloomy, and her relationships don't last long. She goes to therapy on and off. When I told my family that I was getting married, Kat was visibly sad, so my mom asked me to involve her in the planning and to ask for her opinion to make her feel part of it. However, she didn't agree with my choice of September, thinking it's a bad month for a wedding. She also didn't like the colors I picked or the dress I wanted. I tried to listen to her sometimes. At one point, she said, "I can't believe you'll be the first daughter not our father is going to walk down the aisle." I was gutted by her comment. I'm not having a religious ceremony. My fiancé's best friend got a license to officiate our marriage, so it's not that serious. With that in mind, I'm planning the wedding to reflect our personalities. My best friend suggested that the bridesmaids wear different colored dresses, but my sister didn't agree. She made some comments like, "It'll look like a gay pride parade," and "You're turning your wedding into a gay wedding by listening to all your friends' suggestions." Yes, my best friend is gay, but we have similar tastes, so his opinions are highly valued because they match mine. Last week, we were organizing the entrance of our bridesmaids and best men. In our culture, we call them godfathers/godmothers, and they enter together. I told her that my best friend would enter with his boyfriend. My sister then said my wedding was going to be an absolute circus and that, as my older sister, she should make me see reason. She insisted that 2 men shouldn't enter the ceremony together because not all guests would understand and appreciate it. Her comments were very annoying and homophobic. She continued with her remarks and even called my fiancé to get his opinion. At some point, I was fed up and yelled, "You're out of line because this is my wedding and not yours. Have your own wedding and plan it as you want." I was very angry, and my mom came from the garden to see what was happening. Kat started crying and went to her room. It's been 5 days, and she's giving me the silent treatment. She told my mom that she won't be attending my wedding. It's very annoying. She tries to make me feel uncomfortable. For example, if she's in the kitchen and I enter, she leaves. Yesterday, my mom said I should apologize because my sister is fragile and this topic makes her suffer. However, I don't think I'm that much of an b-hole. My mom said that yelling at her was an b-hole move, even if I was right.